Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Well, finally, after about 7 months, 6 or 7 months, African-American people are finally seeing that Trump is no good for our community. Well, I spent all last year telling them, so we didn't have to go through 6 months of this for them to know. But there are news articles that are out now. There are polls that show that Trump is underwater with the black community and way underwater. Again, if they had listened to me, they would have never supported Trump in the first place. Because you cannot, we as African Americans cannot put any confidence, any hope in a white supremacist president, a white supremacist agenda, Project 2025, and a white supremacist movement, MAGA. That's going to go bad for blacks every single time. But some of them are finally seeing the light. And don't misunderstand me, most African Americans saw the light anyway, right? So most blacks did not vote for Trump, voted for Kamala because they knew he was bad. But, as I've told you, over 2 million blacks voted for Trump. And that was the winning edge in this election. So some of them are seeing that that was a bad decision. The problem is, a lot of those same blacks would probably or maybe vote for Trump again if he did something like send out a check, one of those stimmies, right? Or if the economy improved a little, they would once again set all their better judgment to the side and pull the lever in 2026, which is coming up here not very far from now, for Trump. And that's what concerns me. That's what concerns me. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African-American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zone calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. I just don't understand why any black person doesn't understand, doesn't get it, that we cannot support white supremacists. Because you may get a STEMI check, or you may get a little bit better food prices, but behind the scenes, they are working to set us back every single day they get up and go to that White House or to Congress or the state legislatures. They're working against us, all while we pay a little bit less for eggs. It's not worth it. Anyway, I want to take you to an article by the Black Enterprise magazine that shows you that some blacks are finally seeing the light. So let's go over and read a little bit of this article. Donald Trump's approval ratings among black voters slipping. It's good news. The latest poll shows that 15% of black voters approve of how Trump is handling the presidency, with an alarming 79% disapproving, pushing his net approval among black voters to negative 64 points when analyzing the numbers since May. All right. So he has a negative 79% approval rating and then a disapproval rating. And then you throw the 15% approval rating. I don't know where that's coming from. That leaves him with a net negative 64 points underwater. So his numbers in our community are really bad. And rightfully so, because he has been targeting our community, not only go back to January 2025, when he took office the second time, but even in his first administration. As I've told you many times, he was working against us then, him and MAGA. All right, so this goes on to say, data from a new poll shows that support for President Donald Trump among black voters is decreasing, according to a YouGov Economist poll. The latest poll shows that 15% of black voters approve of how Trump is handling the presidency, with an alarming 79% disapproving. Who are those 15%? And why are they approving of Trump with all the anti-black stuff he's doing? Who make up that 15%? Anyway, the newest number pushes his net approval among black voters to negative 64 points when analyzing the numbers since the spring. In May, the same poll revealed that 22% of black voters approved of Trump's second term and 69% disapproved, resulting in a net rating of 47 points. So he's dropped an additional 22 points since then. The gap widened in June to negative 51, with his approval dropping to 20% among black voters and disapproval increased to 71%. And that was June. So it's even lower now. Okay. The 2024 presidential election saw a notable shift toward Republicans among black voters. I don't understand it. With 16% of the black vote, President Donald Trump received the highest level of support for a GOP candidate among this voting bloc since President Gerald Ford in 1976. The support for Donald Trump among black voters increased significantly from 8% in 2016 to 12% in 2020, according to Newsweek. As Black Enterprise previously reported, Wisconsin saw the most significant shift among black voters in the 2024 presidential election. There was a 13% point shift toward Trump among black voters in Wisconsin. There was also a shift in North Carolina, where the percentage of black voters increased by 5 points from 2020 to 2024. Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Nevada saw a 1 to 3 point shift among black voters supporting Trump. Once again, I don't understand it. We're talking about white supremacy. We're talking about a white supremacy agenda, Project 2025. We're talking about a white supremacy movement, MAGA, and why an increasing number of blacks shifted toward that is inexplicable. It just tells you that the blacks who support him are really, 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 really low information people. That's all you can get from that, because that would be like the Jewish people supporting the Nazis. I mean, we have a 400-year history here of these people and their ancestors oppressing African American people. And we're talking about the same group of people, the same group. I got a video coming out where I'm once again going to walk you through how this all developed and why today the GOP is an extremely anti-black party. That video is coming out this week. So, black people who are supporting Trump are just really, 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 really low information, or they're like Byron Donalds or Tim Scott, who greatly benefit from what they get supporting this white supremacist movement. All right, but it goes on to say, but for black voters, the shift downward in support for Trump is driven by concerns about the state of the economy. 24% of black voters approve of Trump's performance on jobs and the economy in May, compared to 66% who disapproved. In July, 18% of black voters approve of his performance and 72% disapprove. Inflation and prices are also a concern. Approval dropped from 19% in May to 16% in July, with disapproval rising to 75%. When it comes to a recession, 26% of black voters said it was likely in the next year, while 10% said it was not likely. 49% believed that the country was already in one. And all this focus on the economy, again, is concerning to me, because there's more for us as African Americans to consider than just the economy. I understand the economy is important, but there are so many other things that we, as blacks especially, must be concerned about, such as the judges that he appoints to the bench. That's very, very important. Also, the people in Congress who rides his coattails into Congress. We also have to be concerned about the civil rights laws. There are so many things that impact us as African Americans other than whether or not inflation is higher than it typically is. And by the way, when you talk about the economy, when Trump took office in 2016, he inherited a very, very good economy from Obama. And when he took office in 2025, he inherited a good economy from Joe Biden. Inflation was down. The GDP was up. Wages were up. Unemployment was down. And with respect to we as African Americans, the Biden administration did a tremendous job on our behalf. And for that, I'm talking about the lowest unemployment in American history, record student loan forgiveness, record small business administration loans for blacks, even those with felony convictions, record HBCU funding, record low child poverty. I mean, Biden and Harris did a tremendous job for the African American community. Yet all you would hear is, they've done nothing, they've done nothing, they've done nothing. Well, just a little research would have showed that those were all lies. All lies. You follow what I'm saying? So there's more that we must be concerned about as African Americans than just the price of eggs and bread and so on. And when Joe Biden took his seat and became the president, remember, he was inheriting an economy that was, recovering or starting to recover with his help from COVID. Remember? And remember all the people who died, the black people who died as a result of COVID? A lot of that, the result of Trump mishandling COVID. So anyway, let's go back and finish this article. It says here, how Trump's policies have impacted black Americans. Following through on his campaign promises, Trump signed several executive orders that ended what his administration called radical DEI programs and preferencing. DEI policies create a fairer and more inclusive workplace. Still, Trump rolled back on President Joe Biden's Executive Order 13985, advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. Now, just pay attention to that. Trump rescinded Biden's executive order, which was targeting or beneficial to us and targeting us as a community, advancing racial equity. That's what Biden and Harris did. They advanced racial equity, and black people, over 2 million, voted for Trump, enabling him to reverse all diversity, equity, and inclusion. And don't tell me this garbage about the fact that DEI benefited white women, so therefore it has had no impact on blacks. That is foolish. I just did a video showing that Trump's anti-DEI war has driven black unemployment, black female unemployment way up. Let me say it again. Trump's anti-DEI war has driven up unemployment for black females more than anyone else. Not white women. Not white women who folks say got more benefit from DEI. Their unemployment is not going up because Trump's anti-DEI war targets blacks. Please, folks, wake up to what's going on. Please. In his second term, often referred to as Trump 2.0, the administration moved forward with plans to dismantle the United States Department of Education, which is really important for us, and reduce the federal workforce through sweeping budget cuts across various federal departments. Federal employment has served as a lifeline for black families to build wealth and financial stability. That's not me. That is the black enterprise telling us that the federal workforce, some of those agencies, are overrepresented with black people. So as Trump started laying those people off, it was black people who got hurt the most. Not white women, black women. There are lawsuits that are pending now because black women, black people were being hurt so bad by these layoffs, by DOGE and so on. So let me read that again. Federal employment has served as a lifeline for black families to build wealth and financial stability. Black employees at the Education Department alone account for nearly 30% of the workforce, according to a 2024 department report. You see, that's overrepresentation because we only make up about 13%, 14% of the U.S. population, yet twice as many, more than twice as many of the employees at the Department of Education are black. The federal government is one of the few places that we're overrepresented as a community. So his DEI or anti-DEI war impacts us the greatest. Approximately 20% of the more than 1,300 new hires at the Department of Health and Human Resources were black employees. And roughly 24% of the staff let go at the Department of Veteran Affairs were also black staff members. This is impacting us, Trump 2.0. And we should have known that because we're dealing with white supremacists. I warned you. I told you. I made I don't know how many videos last year warning you this would happen. New research found that the efforts by the Trump administration and Congress to cut the federal workforce funding to states' public services will disproportionately harm black women who hold many of these jobs, specifically in the South. Data from the Economic Policy Institute shows black women make up more than 1 in 5 local government workers and more than 1 in 4 state government workers in Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, and Maryland. And as I said in a recent video dealing with the rise of unemployment for black females, you lay off a bunch of black women, you're going to hurt a lot of black families, a lot of black children, because black women are the heads of households for a lot of our families. So you take from them, you're taking from black children. And that is exactly what Trump is doing. And we should have known, you should have known he was going to do it because, again, he's a white supremacist. He's looking out for the interests of white people, not black people. So just as I did, sure as I sit here to try to get those numbers up, the closer we get to the midterms, he's going to pardon somebody. He's going to send a check out. He's going to do something to get you to vote for him so he can have 2 more years of hurting you and your interests. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be smarter this time. And I'm talking to those who are in that 15% approval. And I'm also talking to that over 2 million people who voted for him in 2024. And I'm also especially talking to those of you, the millions of you who did not vote. Come on, folks. Come on. Let's put our thinking caps on. Let's do some research. Let's not let them bamboozle us again. We're losing on every hand. Think about the judges he's going to put on the bench. So please, let's be thinking people. Let's be critically thinking people. All right? This comes from a place of love. I get passionate about this because I love black people. Truly. All right, I'm Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, stay woke.